everybody. It is your Uncle Brent and Raynell here with you, bringing you the best of independent music. Who are we interviewing today, Brent?
We are interviewing Deb Morrison, a singer-songwriter and bass player based in South California. Her solo debut, The North Fork, is scheduled for release next month in September, so we're looking really forward to speaking with her. Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
So, look at what I have on.
Is that a ghost hooker sticker?
It's a ghost hooker sticker. So, it's so funny. So, my daughter, Mabel, likes stickers. And so, she put this on her shoulder and said, "Dad, look, I have a name tag." And she kept pointing at it. I was like,
oh no.
And all I could see was the ghost hookers, and I was like, no, you don't. And then later on, I took it off. Can you see it?
No, because you're too close. It's showing me the background. No, back up more. Back up more. It's still showing me your carousel logo. There we go. I don't know what I'm looking at. It won't let me do it.
The red is Mabel. It says Mabel.
Oh, okay.
So it's on a Ouija board, and then in the middle of the Ouija board, it says ghost hookers. And she put her name in between Ouija and ghost hookers.
He'll get a kick out of that.
So she was walking around today with her ghost hooker sticker on.
Just jamming.
I think it's funny. My kids are just funny.
Your kids are funny.
They are.
How are you feeling?
Still have COVID head, but I'm doing a lot better. This week has been kind of brutal as far as work, but I'm not going to complain because I can actually go to work. You know, Texas Scene TV they're getting off the ground and stuff, and so I was talking to Randy the other day, and I give Randy a real hard time, like probably harder time than I give you, and he goes, "You are like the ugliest wife I've ever had." And I just laughed. That was so funny.
I am able to gimp without the crutches. I'm able to drive. So I've been trying to drive.
You've been driving for like a week and a half now.
No.
Maybe two.
No.
You drove to the doctor's office.
Yep, that was the first time. Well, I drove like around the block a couple times just because I couldn't. But I'm not supposed to, and it is painful. It does hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you not in a cast?
No.
Because when I had a broken foot, I was able to use the hard part of the cast or the air cast. Because I had an air cast.
I have just they put the boot on me. But because it's just the toe, I mean, there's nothing to really cast. They've got it taped up to the two other toes. And so, okay. So this is break one.
It's a very lovely finger.
It is. This is break one. For some reason, it didn't hit either joint. This is break two. And this is break three.
It's crazy.
So it literally was like hanging.
You know, when you said they put the boot on me, it sounded a little like Wild Bill when he says, "It puts the lotion on it."
It puts the lotion in the basket.
So you're having a pretty rough time.
I have decided that it's the universe's way of telling me to slow the fuck down. I just wish that my bank account would agree with that statement.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for being had.
So again, welcome to the show. I would like you to tell our listeners a little bit about you and your music.
Oh, gosh, that's a loaded question. Well, I'd rather talk about my music than me. So there you go. Yeah, I'm an Americana, artist. And just finished doing my album, The North Fork. It's my first solo debut. And I'm playing in Nashville next month and at a couple of shows out there called The Buzz. And I've been playing for a long time. So I'm happy to get this record out kind of into the world. I've been putting it off for a really long time. So it kind of runs the gamut. I kind of jump genres here and there. It's not exactly straight country or straight Americana, so there's some alternative stuff in there. And I guess we leave it to the listeners to decide. I don't quite fit in, so, you know.
So, Deb, I've read that your music is rooted in contemporary moves and classical influences, whipped into shape by a long-time traveler who's used the crossing borders. So my question, at first I was thinking crossing borders. Is she an illegal alien? And then I was going through your bio and actually found out that you're a military brat.
Yeah, I am. I was born in Waco, Texas, and my dad was a colonel in the Air Force, and I think that's what they meant when they wrote that, was that I'm kind of a traveler and have been most of my life. So maybe that's why my music doesn't quite fit into something specific, because I've moved around a lot and my tastes and my music tastes are, all over the place a little bit.
And what took you so long to write this album? You said that you've been working on this for quite a while.
I actually, I haven't been working on the album. I actually cut it pretty quickly during the pandemic, in literally a couple of months. I guess I kept putting it off because I wasn't quite sure what road I was going to take. And I actually got sick during COVID, without COVID. And by the way, I'm glad you guys are well and over that now. So, but I got sick during COVID and ended up in the hospital, not with COVID, but just, pneumonia.
Oh, no.
And I was in the hospital. I was like, oh, my God, I never finished that damn record. Because I just kept putting it off. I like being behind the scenes. I like playing bass. I like being a person who I enjoy playing music. I don't exactly like being out front all the time. So it was very easy for me to just keep playing and not put all this personal stuff out front,
So are you bashful?
I don't think my friends would call me bashful, but I am a little uncomfortable putting myself out there in front of people, a little bit. So it's really challenging for me, a little, it's challenging. It takes me a while. I just really have to be in the music and shut my eyes and not pay attention to the people out there and what they may be thinking or anything. And when you're doing your personal music, as a musician, you're really putting yourself out there. And I don't know if I always like that, drawing that attention to myself. So I'm happy being in my studio. I'm happy making music. I'm happy editing and shooting and doing all those things behind the scenes. So it was easy for me to put off until I was in the hospital and went, oh my God, what if I don't come out of here? And I was like, damn it. I said I was going to put that album out. So I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I actually just took the stuff I had written and the stuff I wrote, a couple of older tunes that I had, and I just said, screw it, stop thinking about it and just do it. And then I literally went into the studio, and I want to say almost roughly, but when I do record, I like to record with a live band, and we couldn't really do that on every single song because we were, in lockdown. Luckily, I had, the studio Rocked and Road literally right across the street from our house, and my good buddy who produced the record, we play music and stuff all the time. I just said, if you're willing to have us come over, let's just lay this sucker down. And so we did, actually kind of quickly. And then I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And then I went, okay, who cares, right? Just put your stuff out and do it.
So at this point, you are officially a solo artist. What led you to this transition from, because you were in a Daisy Chain, you're in a band, I can't remember what the Swing, and then you were in Morrison and Company. And I honestly thought when you had Morrison and Company, you were solo at that point. So what led to the transition from band to Deb Morrison Superstar?
Oh God, hardly. Well, Morrison and Company is my band, and I play with all the same guys that were in Morrison and Company. I was just advised to, people didn't know, is this all your material you're writing? Is this all your songs? And I was like, yeah, it is. It was suggested to me that I change over to my name instead of using the band. But the band is still the same guys. I'm a loyal cat. So all the same players are the same players, and it's the same band. And but it was confusing to a lot of people, I guess. Is it, whose music is it? So I finally decided, I was hiding behind it, being behind the thing, because I was like, oh, it's the band's name, not mine. So this is a big leap for me, jumping out.
Well, you know what was funny? Because I was like, I bet this is all her. But it's funny that you said I was kind of afraid, because I was the same way, because I've been in a band for a while, and originally I just called it the No Stone. And then at some point I was just like, you know what, damn it, if I'm going to do all the work and be in charge of all this stuff and have to pay people all this damn money, it's going to be called Uncle Brent. So Uncle Brent and the No Stone. So yeah, I can kind of relate to that. So that's interesting.
How long have you been playing?
Oh God, I've been playing since, well, I started playing guitar and stuff when I was in college. I don't know. God, wow. It's a good question. I've been playing for a long time, you know. Been in a lot of bands, started playing bass in the late 80s, whatever that math is. And I was playing in all kinds of bands back then. It was just, I always remember those times being like the happiest times ever, because I would play sometimes in multiple bands, and I'd be driving home and then on my way to the next rehearsal going, God, this is awesome. Never expecting to make any money out of it, and I still don't, but it makes me happy. So, yeah.
I refer to college as the best 10 years of my life, too.
What made you want to be a musician? Was there like a defining moment?
Well, I think I always, in the back of my mind, deep in the recesses of my mind, always thought, God, I just want to play music and you know, be a musician and play and sing and express myself musically. Because I had it was just so inside of me, you know what I mean? So I think I always kind of knew it. But I didn't necessarily dive into that 100% until a little bit later, until I felt like I you know, screw it. Well, why not? What's keeping me from going there, you know? I think I always deep down knew it, you know, in my soul.
Do you remember the first time you played in front of like a crowd, the first time you played with a band? Was it terrifying, or was it like, yes, this is what I'm meant to do?
It was a combination. You know, it's a lot easier being a bass player. I generally, back in the day, I played bass and sang backup, and there wasn't that many female bass players around, or people who sang, you know, women who sang backup. So it seemed like it was a popular thing at the time. I was like, well, damn, it's good I'm not really a guitar player, because everyone's a guitar player, and I'm going to find my little niche here, and I did. But it was a lot easier being in that position. And the first time I've been in front of a lot of people was at Club Lingerie, which is no longer open, with my band Daisy Chain. Club Lingerie, I know, Brenda, can see it all going on. It wasn't that kind of club, but back in the day,
sure, it wasn't. For the kids, it won't be. Just for the kids.
Right. And I remember being nervous, and then I remember 2 songs in going, oh, this is awesome.
I would like to talk about the North Fork. This is a cool, sultry little song with a nice intro, you know, because you're kind of just riffing over the beginning, the intro. And then I was doing work. I do a lot of passive listening because I have a day job, but it's a computer day job, so I get to listen to a lot of music. And so when I was working, I was listening to it, and I heard the change going from the verse to the chorus, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I heard it in the second verse going to the second chorus again. I was like, okay, I have to know what the hell's going on here. So I grabbed my guitar, and I was like trying to figure it out. And the second note or chord in the chorus is interesting because it's not typical. It really caught my attention, that second chord in the chorus, because it goes a different place than what it normally goes. The other things I liked was the nice guitar solo with interesting tone. I love guitar solos. They're like my favorite. Guitar, it was a slide guitar, but was it a hollow body guitar that he was using? Or was he using a dobro? What was he using?
It was a lap steel he was using. Okay. Yeah, okay, so cool. That one was a lap. Because we recorded that one, believe it or not, we recorded that, virtually. Yeah, we weren't in the studio together for that one, which was strange. Yeah, normally I can answer that question. Usually I have a pedal steel, and that was a lap steel on that one.
Yeah, that sounded really good. I really liked it because you used a guitar. So is this kind of a reflection song? Like, I got some of your lyrics, like, You were saying talking to a girl that I once knew. She's in bare feet in the cool American River where the North and South Fork meet. I found her here running like she was 10. There she goes. It's nice to meet you again.
It is. It is. Yeah. It's exactly what you said is exactly what it is, to kind of get back to the place where you started. That I was really feeling like I wanted to find that place that makes you feel calm, where you can have joy and peace, and to go back to those places that bring you those things. And a lot of times I found I would be thinking about where the North and South Fork meet in the American River is a place called Folsom, California. It's where those two rivers, converge, basically. And I went to high school there. It's a beautiful little rodeo river town, not so little anymore, but very quaint. And I had a lot of really good memories there. And a lot of the things that I find that I do now as an adult, those things started there. My love of nature, love of the outdoors, and all of that. So it's really about getting back to that place and those things, and being really honest with yourself as to what it is that brings you joy. What do you want to do? And to get away from all of the noise and find that spot. So it is a reflection song.
I like the way you recorded the video too, and because I was like watching, I think it was you and the guitars that were pretty much in that video, right?
Yes, it's me. That's my husband. He is the main guitar player in my band. Luckily, I was stuck with him all during COVID, so we got to do a lot of writing.
but because I was watching y'all when you said running like she was 10, it like gave me a visual image of what you may look like as a 10-year-old, just running around and having a good time. So I thought that was interesting.
Driving I-80 from the Bay to Big Blue, searching for a stranger I once knew. Her roots ran deep in the oaks that line the road, where the North and South Fork meet. I found her there in the warm California air. There she goes, running in the hills of gold. Hello, soul, I missed you. You've been hiding in Southern County all this time. San Francisco, but I sure enjoyed my stay. But my heart lies here in this river town of mine. Heading down Bidwell, a road leading right back to me. Talking to a girl that I once knew. She's in bare feet in the cool American River, where the North and South Fork meet. I found
earthquakes there?
You know what? Everyone always talks about the earthquakes, but my mom lives in Florida, and every year she's calling me. You know, the tornadoes and the crazy weather there. I lost 12 trees on my property. We've got everything shut down and the shutters every year, a couple times a year. With the hurricanes, she calls me with that. Yep. And she's like, "But you have the earthquakes," and I'm like,
"A little shaky, and it's over."
Problems.
Right.
A little shaky.
A little shaky. You know, the Northridge earthquake was a little scary, I have to say. But I'm still here, so there you go. That was a scary one in the middle of the night like that.
See, I'd rather have earthquakes, though, than tornadoes. I don't like tornadoes.
Yes.
They're the finger of God, and they just, like, hit a house, skip a house. You'd never know. No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
I hate it. I can't wait to go back to the West Coast.
Well, I'm here. We'll have a cocktail when you come out.
Y'all can do that in Nashville. Go see her in Nashville.
I really might.
Or in Nashville. I'll buy you a cocktail in Nashville if you make it out there with your bad foot.
Well, hopefully it heals. It's really just a toe. It's just that it's mushed. But anyway, so who are you inspired by? Do you have any, like, inspirations that really stuck out to you?
I have a lot of inspirations. That's a really loaded question. It's like the question, say, when you say, "Where are you from?" and I really can't answer the question where I'm from because I'm from everywhere.
Right.
I can tell you who's on my playlist right now of this week. You know,
okay, that's good.
I listen to a lot of who's on my playlist this week. I can actually tell you who's on my playlist this week.
Is Uncle Brent on there? Is
Uncle Brent is absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
There.
You're such a liar.
I
can't believe it. Right, this early in the relationship, and you're already lying to me. Come on.
I've been listening to a lot of 1960s French-inspired songwriters. I know that sounds a little odd, but I was listening to a lot of that lately. Kind of like modern day, Serge Gainsborough kind of people. I don't know if you've ever listened to that kind of thing. Some of it's kind of cheeky. So I've been listening to a lot of that lately. That's been inspiring me a lot. I feel like lately I've been feeling kind of a soundtracky vibe, writing really moody pieces that just give more of a visual feeling. I think maybe that's why I was inspired by the 1960s kind of cheeky songwriting. They're kind of a little bit hokey, but they're also, a little poetic. So, but I'll pull up my little song list and I'll tell you who else I've got on there.
The only French musician I listen to is a metal player, so from China.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
From China.
Vincent.
But, sometimes those finds are really interesting, I really like listening to stuff like that, pulling those things out and getting inspired by something different than what I'm usually listening to. I love Patty Griffin. I love, I love Nico Case. I love just rocking out to your normal. I mean, there's so many people. Oh my God. My playlist just for this week is Glenn Campbell, Karen Ann, Serge Gainsbourg, Nico Case, Whiskey Myers, Bobby Gentry. I kind of went back to Bobby Gentry a little bit. Just I love her songwriting. Tyler Childers, First Aid Kit, and the Allman Brothers.
Childers.
But that's my inspiration for the week, and they're all a little bit different. But I change it up every week or so when I start to switch around. But that's who I'm inspired by this week.
The things you do with your voice are very interesting to me because I sing too. You have a very interesting voice because when I was listening to it, I haven't listened to every song you did, but I've listened to a bunch of them to kind of get an idea of who you are, what you're about, kind of what you're doing. And it's kind of funny when you sing the up-tempo songs that are kind of a little more rocky, you sing in your higher register. And then when you do your slower songs or more moody songs, you tend to sing in your lower register. Is that planned?
I really wouldn't call it planned. I'm just doing what I'm feeling. And sometimes I feel like I want to rock a song out and get, all Chrissy Hyde with it. And other times I feel like I just want to, feel more smoky and to tell the story of the lyrics. So, especially with this particular record, we just went in and I just started playing what I was feeling at the time. Every day I felt a little bit different. One day I was feeling kind of cheeky and fun and a little country and, I want to stop into the Roadhouse bar. And other days I'm just a little more sentimental or, it really depends how I'm feeling, depending on how I sing it. But I really don't plan it ahead of time, I just kind of sing what I feel at the time, and that's how all that stuff came out.
Which leads me into my next question. What is your songwriting process like? Is your songwriting process similar to your singing, or do you sort of go, this is what I'm going to write about today?
Yeah, I think it varies between the two. Sometimes I'm just playing, and we'll come up with a chord progression, and then I'm like, okay, there we are. And I'll finish it out, I'll start down that road. And a lot of times lyrically, I'm a visual person. So when I hear music, I see things, I see the visual picture first. And that's what brings the lyrical story into my mind. So sometimes it starts off like that. And other times I will just stick it on my voice memo if I'm playing something that strikes me, or I'm like, I've got this. This would be a great chorus or whatever. And then when I'm out doing my thing, driving my car, hiking my trail or whatever, sometimes the lyrics come to me that way. I also have notebooks of lyrics that I will sift through and try to, like most writers, I guess, sift through and go, oh man, I got to finish that. Sometimes I've got things completely finished, lyrical stories completely done, and then I just tap into, that's where I'm going to pull that one out, when I'm playing or we get into a groove, or we're just having a live jam and it comes up and I'm like, hang on a second. Let me pull those lyrics out and see if that works here.
I'm looking over at my shelf of notebooks as you say that.
It's scary. It's really scary.
Yeah, and most of them are not done, but there's like it'll hit me and I'll just write it down real quick and then I just put it back on the shelf. So funny.
I'll tell you, that is where the notes thing with the new modern technology of the phone comes in so handy, because I literally have written songs with voice memos have been so handy. I just all of a sudden, I've got it. Sometimes I'll hum something and I'm in the car. I'll hum a chorus or I'll hum what I think is a verse. I'll be singing it. All of a sudden, I put it in the voice memo. I come home, I transpose it. I'm like, there we go. So that's been so handy to have that modern technology to walk around with. I'm sure you guys think the same, but I'm very thankful.
The only problem with the modern technology is you still have to have problems if you take your phone into the shower. Because that's where I still get my ideas.
That is a problem. That is a problem.
You need an Alexa in your bathroom.
I just had that visual of taking the phone into the shower while you're writing your song, Brent. Thank you for that.
That's horrible. You're gonna have to therapy for that. Your husband's gonna be like, man, poor guy. Hey, he's good looking though. He is.
Thank you. He's a good looking, nice guy. He's a good guy. He is. Good person. Great musician.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
That nice guy part is the best part.
That is the best part.
He looks like a bad boy.
Guy.
He looks like a bad boy though.
When I met him, his hair was literally to here when I met him. Like, almost as long as mine when I met him. And hair or no hair, he's a gem. So I got lucky.
Let's jump into that second song. Let's talk about Blackbird.
So my good friend Nick Capel, our music studio is literally across the street, and it's called Rockton Road, and he wrote that as a music bed for the music series I have called Prickly Pear Presents, and we would do all these promos, and he wrote a music bed for it, and that was it. So when we went into the studio and we were recording the album, I said, oh my God, you got to pull up the Prickly Pear music bed. I love that. Let's finish that. At the time, two of my really good friends were fighting for their lives. They both had cancer, two separate friends of mine, but very close to my heart. And I was just going through that process with them, and I was just amazed by their tenacity and their positive attitudes and you know, just their fight. I just like, my God, these guys are just warriors having to face all of that, you know, and they've got kids. It was just like, oh my God, you know.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
So that's why. Then I wrote the lyrics to Blackbird to put on the onto that music bed, because I always felt like I always listened to that song as I was running or hiking, and always when I needed that extra push to get up the hill. And so I thought of them, and that's how that one came to be.
You know, I'll be honest, that the video, the intro, the video kind of scared me. I peed on myself a little bit because it was kind of scary. The other things you did throughout the song, were you navigating from your head to your chest voice or chest voice to head? Were you doing a lot of vocal experimental stuff with your harmonies on that one? Because it's definitely different than Fork.
Yes, it's totally different. As a matter of fact, it was interesting that the label wanted to put out the North Fork first and then Blackbird second. And I was like, oh, I wonder how that's it's so different. I wonder how that's going to, translate. And then I decided, who cares? I mean, every single song I have on that record is so different, and I'm proud of all of them for different reasons. But we really had a good time making that video, and I really felt it was important to put it out, you know, for my friends that were warriors and survived all that stuff. I just was like, we did a lot of experimentation, and I laid a bunch of layers of all kinds of stuff in there, and it was really exciting to make, because we were just in the studio laying this, and like, oh no, wait, I've got this harmony, let's lay that, and we just had a great time, you know, putting that whole thing together.
I think the backing harmonies kind of pushes it over the top, you know, because you have some pretty compelling things going on. Like, you have lyrics, when I'm laying on the red dirt ground, don't think you can come and take me down, I ain't got no white flags flying around. That was initially like my favorite lyric. And then you had this cool rhythmic change about 2:31, and the male vocalist comes in, and I was like, oh crap. And then he said, I'm hiding out in an old oak tree, I'll take you down before you see me, she don't know I got the fire in me. Oh, there are some good lyrics in that song. Good Lord. The song is called Blackbird, and the label you're on is called Blackbird. So are we supposed to think that's a coincidence?
You know what? It was a coincidence completely, because Blackbird record label is just what it is. And I wasn't signed to them or anything when we did that song. And of course I named the song Blackbird because, especially this huge tree I have, it's a 200-year-old tree in my front yard, and there are literally flocks of blackbirds that are up in that tree. It looks so ominous sometimes. And so that's where that thought came from. It was really kind of crazy. And I always felt like those blackbirds were a sign of, you know, a sign of death. That's why I named it that. And then I got signed to the label, and then we decided that Blackbird was, I probably should have changed the title of the song, but we didn't.
Hiding high up in
Is it exciting to be on the Blackbird record label?
It is exciting, and mostly it's meaningful to me. I'm a huge fan of feeling like people in my life are like family, good people, good people that, and I was saying the other day, I like it when people can come over to my house and they can find their way around my kitchen and know where the forks are, I love that feeling that I'm surrounded by good, trustworthy friends and family. And that label feels like that to me. They just really, and they care, they really do care and take their time. And that's what meant the most to me. So it is exciting because it inspires me, and they keep me excited about everything. I think it's really easy in this business to feel jaded and discouraged, and I never feel that way. I always feel like they're like, hey, let's try this and let's try that, and I feel like they're in my corner, and they're just good people, so it's cool.
Even though you're signed to that label, I really look at you as an indie artist, kind of fighting your way through this world.
You want to ask the question about what a live show's like, since I tried to steal your question last time and you got mad at me?
So, what is a live show like?
Well, you know what a live show is like.
Well, for you, if we went and saw you live, what would we see?
So I have my best pair of chaps on. I've had 4 tequilas.
That's probably accurate.
Renelle drives over to pick me up because I'm not going to drive that way. And we go to the show.
Long drive to Texas from where I'm at, buddy.
Hey, just work with me. So she picks me up. We go to the show. We walk in the door. We put our money down. We get our tickets. We walk in. We go to the front row. What are we going to see?
You're going to see me with a tequila shot and a beer chaser and fumbling around in the front, trying to relax myself a little bit and tune everybody out. And I've got a great band. I have the best band. I've got a band of great musicians and great guys, and we have an awesome time together. So once we click into each other and we're hanging and we start playing, we just have fun, And like I said, I have to shut everybody else out, so I just pay attention to my boys, and we just get in there, and the drinks start to flow, and we have a good time.
So you're nervous at the beginning.
Yeah, I have to get into that zone.
Sorry,
once I get that first song out, I'm good to go,
Sure, it's not the tequila and the beer chaser.
Well, I couldn't dismiss that. I think that probably my husband always says, don't give her any more. But it's
more liquid courage.
Just a little liquid. I just need a little liquid courage to loosen things up and, get the vocal cords going. And, one shot of like a good Patron tequila and a really cold beer, and I'm like, that's it. I'm good. What's a drag is if you have to play really late at night and you have to wait. That's a bummer.
Well, you're kind of high class if you're doing Patron.
That's a special. I just like that when it's a smooth one, right? That's a smooth one.
It is, but normally I go up to the bar and go, give me the bottom shelf.
There's something to be said for the bottom. I don't know. Now I want to like all the high shelf booze, but if I'm going to drink it by itself, I definitely have. I'm definitely for the higher shelf shots.
Where can people find your music?
You can find me at debmorrisonmusic.com, Deb Morrison Music on Instagram, on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, all of the platforms, just under Deb Morrison Music.
And where are you playing next?
We are playing in Nashville at a show called The Buzz at Acme Feed and Seed during Americana Fest, and at a Magnolia Roads show in Nashville, too, that same weekend.
So is this your first trip?
No, we've gone every year for the last couple of years, maybe the last 3 years. We always go during Americana Fest to check out all the artists and play a couple of shows down there, and it's always a lot of fun. A lot of our friends are down there playing, so it's really great to go support them. And I was going to say thank you guys for supporting independent music and artists by doing this show and taking the time to really dive into all the artists and giving them time, and supporting them. It's really a cool thing you're doing.
Thank you. I really appreciated
Nice.
that. I needed to hear that today. One last question, and then we're going to let you go. What advice would you give a young songwriter?
The advice I would give a young songwriter is to stay true to yourself and how you feel, and don't feel like you have to fit into a specific genre or that you have to do what other people are doing. Do what you truly feel when you're in your room making music and writing music, and what comes out of you. And just be true to yourself as an artist and don't feel like you have to sound like somebody else. That would be the first piece of advice for a young songwriter who is writing. And to not be afraid to put it out there, even if it's in its infancy, because that, Brent, oh my God, you're making me laugh.
Listeners, Brent has literally is taking notes.
First thing I put was stop wearing your pants too tight, Brent.
Well, no. I mean, maybe that's a good thing to wear the pants too tight. You never know.
No, it's not.
Get those high falsetto notes that way.
It depends on the
roadie.
person, Brent.
I don't
Some
have a
people can
roadie.
wear the tight pants, some people can't. You know what I mean?
I don't have a roadie, so I have to bend over. So we don't want to expose anyone to that.
Oh, that's it. It makes a good a little backstage shot, I'll tell you that.
Unintended.
Go ahead, Deb. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. The other thing that I would suggest to somebody starting out is it's really hard to get gigs and shows. I don't know. I live in the LA area, so it's always difficult. And so if you can't get a gig or a show, then make your own. Don't feel afraid to forge your own way. If you're not getting a gig, you're not booking a gig, and you can't get in anywhere, then start your own thing. Start your own music series, whether it's at a house or on a porch or whatever the case may be. Start your own thing. You can learn a lot by that. You can learn a lot by booking and organizing bands and putting a show together yourself. You start to learn what other people on the other side are looking for, with artists. So that would be another thing that I think you can gain a lot of experience. If you can't get a show or a gig when you're starting off, then put together your own, wherever it is.
That's really good advice.
I've learned a lot from doing that. It's been a really great experience for me, starting Prickly Pear Music Nights, and now I work with the California Country Show and a couple of other shows. But booking them and promoting them has really been a wonderful avenue for me to meet other artists in my music genre, and connect me with people, and learn about what they're looking for on the other end. When you're putting your packages together to send to people, what not to do and what to do. I've learned a lot from that. So all in all, it's a good learning experience. And the more you can learn about the business, the better off you are in launching your own stuff.
You know what really helped me learn about music was dating, because I got used to hearing the word no, whether it be before the date or during the date or after the date. No, I will not go without you, go with you. No, I will not date you again.
I find that hard to believe with your charming, debonair way that you got that many no's, for starters.
He didn't get that many no's. He has a lot of kids. Don't listen to him.
Exactly.
I was going to say, when someone tell me yes, I would be like, are you sure?
He's like, wait, I hear it so not often.
Did you look at my resume? Did you see what was in there? I'm clearly not qualified for this.
You're funny.
You guys are adorable.
Oh, thank you.
You're nice.
Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. I'm going to head down to the beach.
Awesome.
Going to the beach tonight to have a sleepover at my friend's house.
Nice.
Have a good time. So I guess this is it. It's the end of the show.
This is it. This is the end.
My friend.
The end. Deb was great. I really enjoyed having her on the show. I really, really like that song, The North Fork.
I liked both the songs.
Yeah, I like both the songs, but that one, I really love that. And that's going to be released next month?
Next month in September.
So they're going to get a sneak peek of the track on our show.
That's right. They sure. They're getting it here first.
All right, Brent. Well, we are putting together our tour has gone from a tour to a couple shows, but we are still working on that, and that's going to be awesome, and that's coming up at the end of October. Please like, follow, subscribe to Sound Pollution across social media.
Also, download and comment. Even if it is, I hate you.
That's
Just comment. We're used to that.
It's fine. It's fine.
We're both
I did get brave and turn the comments on the clock app. I'm terrified, but it's fine. We will be making a formal announcement about the shows within the next couple weeks, and I think that's all the updates I have for now. We are still healing from separate issues, so things are kind of staggering out. We're doing the best we can, just like everybody else. Brent, anything else?
Don't have anything else. Y'all guys take care of yourselves. And Deb, good luck with your release. And go make some noise!